not do me.
Yeah. Into where your official statement first as Director of Communications. Congratulations. Pija microphone nimu eye.
Obina we say your congratulations. Obi eduma so why congratulations.
Na so when your appointment.
Eduma na dey so no say congratulations. Eduma
yes.
You no more na be. Eja media for. Mo na mo dey ebeko. Mo so na mo dey ebeba. As I said it bia you no na be.
Yeah.
Obi I think say a few days ago now, Omampeni Abediche Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, flag bearer of the MPP.
Yes.
At the few names are a person share campaign in various areas.
Yes.
And see Andrano now Oguso as part of Ahumbo and they say the manifesto in Semonso. You know, Vice President is one of the people who are strong believers. Say Abato de so be Kotwaba. Mane nyina so ntia onto aba
ne ma
na nyina so no so no e se ye nyina so a fa ne na brabo ene ne nkanko ho enti and when it comes to issue based campaign there he is an advocate, a strong advocate for it. Enti manifesto is one of the touch point of very 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 serious.
Oh, okay.
Ti ndra no o de no so toto akwemu. First of all, your campaign no the actual campaign team of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and now who paper no so no. The real campaign team no the close to 7 million MPP sympathizers and voters across the country no. Omuna on day-to-day basis no. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia counting on them so mo bed nante aboa.
Yes.
Aton nsem no amagana fo nyina ato abaye den amano. Obi campaign no campaign team members no Eddie Ras already dem. Omo dey call a Meko meeting, omo dey call youth meeting, YPG, MYF meetings. Omo dey call Pentecost and Paibo ase. Omo dey call yi ase. Omo dey call Edwaso. Eddie Rabe bia to ensure say Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia the message you know e be true fam. Enti omo na e key the friend say campaign team. Then we have the MPP party executives, over 200,000 MPP party executives across the country. 38,622 polling stations in the each of them your party executives. The actual campaign team of the Bawumia campaign. Because I've been 20 polling station. And then we know because when him say easy, an average of about 500 maximum.
Per polling station.
Yes. There were few outliers, but I don't want to average 500 maximum per polling station. And in each polling station, you have minimum 5 party executives. The campaign team, Nankasa Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, apa almost say Omonshana, Omukran campaign at the polling station. Penifo who mo paper no so there. Omo anopano. Bawumia sorry no be free bisa say bosome frɛ ho no say ekwesi wo akosi san. No mo no makɔhwa ye den ama no. Onya ya nanka no pa bi ono abetumi afa phone. No wa frɛ nipa 7 million and 200,000 nyina across Ghana. No wa hwɛ de ekoso. But esane so no kwan to me yes akɔse nyina nti. Na wa pam penifo ya omo won krata yi so omo ba be hwɛ various aboa coordinate
a campaign.
But the real campaign team na maka.
But even that no you might have heard the criticism of that list. Say nipa 14 also. How can somebody who is promising to use 50 ministers, deputies, regional ministers to govern this country? Now the campaign team in nipa 40. You've heard that criticism.
Campaign in your governance. Obe govern on Maya. Medical can say your business model no.
Yes.
And it's a human resource awon here. When this wade hu na wo de ba be chechire o man no. And be che nipa do ababenya. And you are amembu no.
Yes.
Campaign and your amembu. Campaign no ne su ene ne ban enko. Enti obe run a campaign. O pese wasem no edru fam. Na edru dipa close obi say 14 million.
Yes.
So na waka wasem kire mo a
Asempa FM.
Say ya do beto apon so no esronko. From say we say me bu man na membo no me mani so ade hu mako edioson enie. Enti wotena say oh me sha me to me the chieftaincy ministry any local government any sanitation abom aya ministry baako. Don't forget say me kasa makabo mu a sa nipa baako na mienu no mo ye ministers and deputy was our ministry no. Enyo mo kwa no ba be adwuma no. The civil service architecture of Ministry of Sanitation CCR no. And the civil service architecture of local government and the civil service architecture of
sanitation
no.
Yes.
Ni nyina e wo ho. Nto mo nyina bebo ha. Enti e bia wakabo mu de, but in actual sense the reality is that see I can say ya come ministries abomu a the architecture of human resource at the ministries no. Unim say ensesa ho. Yes ha ministers e bia no kombe ensia no. And I had to swine the I mean into still our war for baby on bedding or maybe ball a year human. Into the correlation is completely misplaced. We are running a campaign, a decentralized campaign for 38,622 polling stations to reach out to 14 million people. And you can imagine. And that's why, for example, we will say our middle belt coordinator.
Yes.
Or Northern Belt coordinator, or Coastal Belt coordinator.
Also. Sure.
Embra or Nam Savannah Northeast area campaign. No. Why? And on a campaign for a party for a year Juma around Central Region, Western Region, Volta Region, the coastal areas. No. One a air share amano. Send be obekobebano. Obi to be at the cost of film. Now to me. A day and 1 day I day.
Yes. Yes.
Nipa baako. Na nipa baako na yɛn nkwa na ba be adwuma no. Ono de nim keke. On the party for dodo na anti campaign dey 40 o. Me say over 200,000 party executives plus 7 million Ghana for a omo wogidie sonko e wo Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ni. Omo no mo yɛ campaign team no. And that is campaign. You cannot compare running a political party campaign to running a state. They are not the same. I don't know the basis. I don't even see any common denominator in that comparison. Meaning so they are completely different.
But again, so have you heard the criticism about some of the roles in the campaign team, look superfluous in the acquire say a be or distinguishing rules, for example, the campaign chairman and strategist and a campaign manager.
Okay, and again, you always need to understand the model and then you appreciate the issues. Obia in terms of reference. In terms of reference, there is no confusion. Campaign strategy group. Say plan bang and a quite benny a person your first one you run a campaign.
Yes.
A saying a couple do saying you no be 2 months. Then I say you found March, then you person ye. April, you person ye say you give say befa. Your company moon you say ye rally back in June a year. So rally no crowd in ha. That's a strategy. They are thinking. They're thinking for the campaign. So I just say but we are on day-to-day basis wrong. My planning a strategize what day we and yes, our strategy group no onobu dambucho mo and you omo and omo kofem regions ni mo no akwakoye implementation no nti the campaign management group no campaign manager no ono na oba beje strategy ne plan na yahye wo dey mo no
na wako implement
and in its implementation it's a national campaign. Obi, why running national campaign da?
No,
it's a lot of work into where you a deputy campaign manager is responsible for research and elections. On also no pa, whilst a campaign manager and a flag bearer and a year campaign, year constituency visits, year regional visits, a sheshi and crowdfunding common. We need research to be able to back the area. Can you believe if the same person is also coordinating or monitor research? Why have not a human eye there to see into Bakubi or Horny there or Srano Pa? Whilst one is on the field, the focal area in the year research, and they plenty mushroom info research companies naba. Almost today, no more plot, no more graph, we be even on Twitter or Bonity Mano project. As a political party, we won't run a campaign blind. You better run a campaign with our own data, set of data and research to ensure that every step along the way it's guided by that research. And research in America who say it could see a very important platform. Nti about 3 years. Say you make sure say your representation wa is strong. Because research tells us say a lot of young followers no it's here see say. Nti so be ba ha no be ka sam na no kra ye man ntwom kra na abetia no because we have our own set of data. So there's somebody responsible for that. It tells you how serious we are as a political party with this campaign. Now, in the elections, in Ghana's election, on the day of elections, you talk about me, you know, you talk parliamentary elections, you talk presidential elections. If you don't take care, what is likely to happen to you as a political party? They say, more the more focus in a presidential. So, it's more strategy, no more tactics in a presidential. But when you say about to be who call lower men, yes, one, or Eastern region, dynamics in a difference on that. Issues in a different crowd. You'll be surprised, say, real constituency be no more the 80 or mujas or Tobano. And it has nothing to do with all the things you discuss here. And that will have a direct implication on the young parliamentary candidate or what's that area. And then you're gonna, it can become quite obvious, say, political parties, more running elections, and one we don't call parliamentary. So we have somebody who is solely dedicated to ensuring, say, Neni Eko. Yen parliamentary candidate no omunyuma omoye omo campaign omo running. What is the feedback from the constituencies? What are people saying about the candidate? Is the candidate working? Is the candidate on the ground here? You work. There's been situations
yes.
You candidates be you to Obama no be a candidate no to kwan kontra bochire all back to Ghana na 3 months to elections obi so be dey win election amount. But you say if you don't take care, you have one person you call campaign man on quantity ho neni nyina the candidate nechi flag bearer nechi
yes
when so better no now parliamentary elections na dey ayebasa. So that is how we've segmented your campaign no. We've decentralized it, we've created focal areas for people to concentrate. So when we go and we come and sit in the strategy room, what the campaign strategist is doing is say
yes
manager for parliamentary affairs, elections and research, manager on the flag bearer and the friend road manager and our campaign coordinator. Okay, research what is happening. You call Ashanti region by no, Marco see chili, Marco to nipa no. What is the feedback? Diana Mufi says yeah that research person inti onono there because he has been working specifically for Sir Ejuma, which is the research into no. Enya den kra obeba no what is
Tibuda
Tibuda Dr. Anthony Tibuda. So what just here
na osebo nso amu parliamentary campaign
inti be bisa say honorable Obi na into for example IS1 constituency
yes
and lower menya lower menya constituency is one of the seats that the NDC are completely disregarding the people because when they be and the people are angry with them. Feel say they be you are not even in touch with us. Candidate no yebetu no
lower menya crop
yebetu no
unim nipa crop
I minim no aden
your friend oblite
yebetu no
oblite your friend is simple labi
me see yebetu no enti you see so technically no you realize say immediately sir deputy manager responsible for parliamentary affairs strategies in be bitan on ba be chechim 275 constituencies no say ne yakwa kodru constituency ha no aidin kakra aha na emre ese yekokko boa na ekwe ese ba no aha na ese dan to asa candidate ohiamboa e wo kwan we so ono na adwuma no is focus because all this while ono deputy manager in charge of parliamentary affairs or yes I adwuma we no na campaign manager so ne flabera enam kwan so na direct campaign manager responsible for election and research also and research into Yebeshia. They will all give their feedback. Then based on the feedback we are getting, the strategist group would also say okay, and then we have to say the next 1 month you say the next 2 months you say no more so teach no more share from each no more to toniama no more say have my feedback. That is how we have structured our campaign.
Ibrahim Anyas no better. He is deputy manager for the presidential campaign.
Exactly. So on say you know the focal area kasa is the presidential elections. And honorable Obi focal area kasa any parliamentary. Into honorable Obi no edineni the parliamentary candidates across the country and what is happening in the constituencies. And then Ibrahim Anyas is paying very close attention to what is going on with the presidential elections, so that there are no little details left out. It was not sorry on ya hey need you ya ne say they need the presidential elections campaign nechi because share what we call constituency be almost say you better MP candidate Baby 2-tier MPP president candidate. Uko kwa say you say you better my MPP president candidate. Baby to my MP candidate. Who is looking at these? There are 2 different individuals on your ballot on the 7th of December. Each of these 2 individual candidates, of utmost importance to us as a political party. So we are keeping an eye on all of them. And in keeping an eye on them, we have somebody paying attention to the parliamentary candidate in your constituency, and somebody paying attention to the presidential candidate in your constituency. And then we have somebody looking at the research and elections only to back the decisions that we are going to be taking.
If you have a campaign management team on the ground, then why do you need a campaign coordinator?
Because the campaign coordinator is going to permanently live in the sector and make sure say what be where you may be now. You see, there's a regional campaign coordinating team, constituency for BTB, polling station for BTB, electoral area for BTB. Candidates na babe 1991 nyina akono. Research for a year or more, who is there on day-to-day basis? Obeji in summoning tentem, no abuabua no, na babedu campaign management strategies no. The country is big.
But I don't know because if you pick somebody like Mavis Awakumsi or your MP or Central Region, we're putting you in charge as coordinator for Coastal Zone.
Yeah.
In the Coastal Belt, no more regional executives in all the regions there. And the regions can do the coordinator.
Exactly. So the
regional executive.
Yeah. So the Middle Belt coordinator's responsibility is to make sure say we're synthesizing all these other regency issues. No. So what you say? Because for example, say strategy transfer, and you have now Belka say 16 regional
chairman
teams and I say about there be. So the first point of call when we have an issue in that coastal area is the coordinator and the team. And then the coordinator will say, this constituency in this area, these are the issues, and then these are. You always have somebody to call right there and then. And you always have somebody to on the ground also dealing with the issues. Because you can imagine, say, Obia de Nasamo ba Accra. Just imagine, say, Obia de Nasamo ba Accra. There are some of the issues that they can be resolved at the constituency level. There are some of the issues that want to be resolved at the constituency level, about regional level. If they do regional level, and then just at once, a friend is saying and crying. There's a coordinator who is there with you, who is on daily basis engaging you. That should be able to resolve those issues with you before they get to the center. It is here to me and delay with it Kranaba Center. That is the whole essence. Decentralization is the best form of management in every aspect to ensure say we are able to focus on the issues because you have people responsible for small areas in the campaign, and then we can resolve issues quickly and focus on things and get them done as quickly as possible.
And you have a campaign advisory committee.
Yes. Somebody in there is cut out for them. It's straightforward.
Yes, or one is straightforward. But then the senior campaign aides, what would they be doing?
So the flag bearer moves. When the flag bearer is moving into a constituency or a region to go and campaign, the flag bearer doesn't move alone.
Yes.
Because the implementation of the strategy na the constituency will be here with the Juba. And if you know how, and I'm sure you are aware, when you are nanti, you can say you are campaigner, and you want to say you are everything happening at the campaign ground, it's very, very, very well coordinated. Very, very well coordinated. So this list are people who are always with the flag bearer. It can be all of them or one of them or some of them at a time. Don't forget, say, there could be a day, maybe as a me okuye, on a constituency, or ye bibu ekwapem not, and no ye bibu enely, nti Cabo ne oho, Cabo, and ebia
Mihu John Boedu din
Cabo John Boedu, and Kofi Jameshi, ebia omo mo ho. John Boedu head of Siga. Into this week, Siga for BBT, John Boedu to be uncle, engineer Kwabene Japan, and Dr. Nyame, and so it's a pool of people who are usually be seen with the flag bearer on the road, because the kind of campaign you would not find everybody following the presidential candidates crisscrossing the country. I'm going to center in the campaign to make sure that we move our turnout quite high up and increase the MPP's votes. But who are the people who are with the flag bearer to ensure say whatever has been planned in the strategy room, whilst the flag bearer is on the road, that is what is being
executed.
Exactly.
Dr. Susanna Alono, where?
Oh, you don't know her?
No. I don't
think. No, yeah,
okay, then maybe do me a picture, but I don't think I can put a face to the
name.
We'll
listen to you'll be our name.
Okay, let me see. Okay, and then you have a national campaign coordinating committee. No, that's where you have the which shall oversee the work of all other committees. It shall be chaired by the flag bearer, the vice presidential candidate, the national chairman, general secretary, regional chairpersons would also serve on this committee.
So you see, campaign nipa kasa campaign yen flag bearer.
Yes.
And now, by extension, the political party. Inti yen nyina yesom no. Sa group we no, enye group ade bia o mabetena se. Ewo mu ai bia maye adwuma be 1/4. So what you say? Now, because on day-to-day basis, no, the campaign manager and the management team nominate almost running at the end.
Sure.
Then on a very regular basis, the strategy group, and then campaign management team near the Asia. But who is the strategy group reporting to? That is the coordinating committee. In the strategy group, on a frame meeting, on a chair, on the head of that group, on a whoever is helping with the campaign to come and then listen to them and then give direction and guidance. But who does it report to? Because at that level, flag bearer and Tihobi, and it goes to the coordinating committee, where now the campaign chairman also now has to go and report to somebody and say, so far the it
is a may draw organogram with where
this one sits at the top.
The National Campaign Coordinating Committee will be at the top. Yes. Immediately beneath an honorable campaign advisory committee. Advisory
will be on the side.
On the side of national coordinating.
Yes, because I'm the foot
sure.
Then immediately
beneath
the strategy.
I see campaign operations where you have the general secretary as director and a Henry and ABOAGYE.
Yes. And
that will be beneath that. Yes. And then the campaign chairman and strategist will come.
Then the management.
Yes. And then electoral affairs, Peter McMenu.
Yes.
On the IPAC meeting and on the bed.
Yes, it's a Peter McMenu. Mr. McMenu, when it comes to the elections, and will be into me. Until you realize that on day-to-day basis, issues that has to do with the party, electoral commission, IPAC, and many, he will be running around, getting all these things. That I know he does these things better than any other person. So all matters of elections, all electoral affairs issues, Mr. McMahon will be handling those things.
In the former as a partner, in terms of this campaign, putting a campaign team together, you believe this is the best human resource and more to deliver.
We even have more, and that's why I said that. And yet, more paper not some campaign team. There are a lot more quality top human resource. Okay, even than WhatsApp paper no so. But as I say, nipa ba kwa nyam you be edi enimu. Na omo maka no so ye dey eboa. Somebody must wake up in the morning and make a call and say and that is why you have people on the sheet. But otherwise, there are a lot more people who are working behind the scenes and in front of the camera supporting the campaign.
And the other thing here, the difference between your role as director of communications and as spokesperson for the flag bearer.
So director of communication for the campaign. So basically you billboards, flags, creatives. There is a whole component of branding, packaging, brand positioning, creatives in there, messaging in there, outreach. How to get our message to the people is the job of the communications directorate. The branding of the candidate and everything is a friend is saying responsibility of the directorate, of the communications directorate. Putting out information about the campaign to the public and ensuring the public are being fed with the right information and they are consuming everything that we want as a campaign to put out is the responsibility of the directorate. Gideon Boakon has always been a spokesperson for the flag bearer, and you can see spokesperson for the flag bearer.
Yes,
you understand, spokesperson for the flag bearer. Until when there are issues, maybe there could be very, very personal issues, that the flag bearer wants to address, then you don't work would come in and do that. But communication is broader. In fact, there are several other spokespersons who are also going to support this campaign, and they are all part of the communications directorate. They are all part of the communications systems that we are building to support the campaign.
But don't you also foresee a conflict between the campaign communications directorate and a party communications directorate?
No, there will not be. In fact, the campaign is the party. The party is the campaign. There is absolutely no conflict, including even the Ministry of Information, that is government, working on behalf of the party. The government was formed out of the party, right? And government has been working on behalf of the party over the period. And we are going to go out there to campaign. So Ministry of Information, Parties Communications Directorate, Campaign Communications Directorate, it's completely synchronized to ensure that we have a seamless working relationship. Without any issues. So I just say, my catcher that I said 38,622 police stations. The Kabe FM police say 38,622 people times 5. Moving and getting into the polling station and engaging the people. So there's a lot of work and there's no conflict. We have our plan, we have our campaign plan and our campaign strategy. So our campaign plan and the campaign strategy, has clear-cut responsibilities and roles for everybody. Until everybody knows what we are supposed to do on daily basis, knows what we are supposed to do on weekly and monthly basis and on quarterly basis. Richard, myself, Fatih, we're working together to prosecute this campaign like nobody's business.
And now the next thing, the manifesto committee, Modebetuja Enra. I see the committee itself, which is the manifesto committee, or say Chairman Sabunsu, Kujo Pon Kroma, Yvonne Hughes. The flag bearer didn't have an idea. They're not a cost of parliament, and so how come he named Osei Chemesa to chair this? And I know if he said no, the American say
Kojo Ponkroma is minister.
I know.
But
Osei Chemesa Bonsu majority leader. Enran yet is what in the Jumato.
And I make us say there's no connection.
Do you think so?
Yeah, but why? Kojo is a cabinet minister.
No, but you've not heard the fact. Say, okay, maybe the flag bearer preempted what will be happening in the NBA to create the semblance of unity in the party. In the Yemfa Manifesto Committee chair.
You think, say, a serious committee like Manifesto, the decision will be taken just within hours? You think so? But do you really think, say, there is anybody in our government and party today, say, Obia a flag bearer, or because say, Obey, apart from Honorable Chairman Sabosutu, Chair Committee. Manifesto na Obabeshe, all the sectors.
Yes.
Everything that affects the people of this country on life. Is there anybody today in Ghana, both MPP and NDC, or what that vast, broad knowledge and experience than Osei Chairman? He's been in parliament for years, over 2 decades. He's been leader of the parliament in so many capacities, from minority to majority for years. Economy has passed through him, finance has passed through him, agric has passed through. He has seen the laws, the acts being enacted and repealed. He has seen the bills being enacted and repealed. He has seen the agreement being signed. He understands. He has knowledge of every sector in this country, from the 90s to today. And I don't think there is anybody. So it cannot be, say, anybody would even think about such a conspiracy to say, resigning. It cannot be. He has always been penciled as the man to lead our manifesto committee. All the time. He has always been penciled as the man to lead them, because he's the best person at this point to lead that committee. And I don't think you dispute that.
In terms of the experience,
exactly.
Nobody can dispute that.
Yes, nobody can dispute that. Nobody can. And he could have, if he didn't want to resign, he could have still been majority leader and still do it. Yes, because there are cabinet ministers who are doing it. That's what I'm saying. Say, you can still talk to him and understand the basis, but the conspiracy is there, because there is no connection between, say, majority leader, and he has to stop before he comes to do this. I don't see the connection, because there are other cabinet ministers who are doing the
and manifesto committee coordinators. Professor Kweku Apia Edu.
Or Vice President's office.
Okay. And Dr. Isgo Usumeza, so no research director.
Research, yeah.
And for those coordinators, what would they be doing? Omomo Jumane or say Chime Sabunsu Mo Jumano difference near day.
Committee Edumane Soon, Manifesto Committee Edumane Soon. Fundamentally, what's going to happen is that all these different committees now, chair, nobody only chair, membership.
Yes.
So there's a lot of coordinating and movements in there. There are some committees that you need to help them get access to certain information. They need access. People need to help them. Okay, I need this information. I need to call this person and get this information for you. So they are going to be doing those jobs and running around for the committee.
And the best are coordinators.
Yeah.
Now to the manifesto subcommittee chairs, they are working on or more memberships, but they will be chairing.
Yes.
They are generating a huge interest in the conversation. More choice for committee chair for youth and sports. Asamoah.
Yeah. You see,
what did the flag bearer see?
It tells you
Ghana for
a chair of the caliber of person Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. He is one that is able to spot talent, identify capacity, and then utilize that energy for the good of the country. Asamoah is a young person in this country that even at his young age is already a legend. Asamoah has traveled wide and far. We took Kwanya Kwechi 190 years here for Nina. Waye ejuma to the highest level in his life. Yenim no efa years here for Nina. Ene so ko Thailand and now Philippines. Na say okasa we Ghana ni no bi. Eti oh wow. Why ha Asamoah no bit me the idea akayo. Simply because of how our first was sumo mind.
Yes.
And if such a young guy has retired from the sports, no about Ghana, no my way more.
Yes.
The best you can do is to tap into that talent. Asamoah, what have you seen over the years of traveling across the world? What did you see? With your years of being a sportsman, you know Asamoah mono and then Mike Lacey mono. One of the people we can call the thoroughbred sportsmen. Almost 30 free from Accra Academy, Wabobo, Nessa, Nancy Dansuman, Abo Liberty Academy, or they are called the highest level. Asamoah went to the highest level of his game. So, such a person, what you do is to tap into him and say, if we want to fix our sports, how do we do it? What did you see in your career, in the journey of being a sportsman? What did you see was happening in all these countries? He played in China, he played in Italy, he played in England, he played in so many countries across continents.
Yes.
Then I was saying, would you say Ghana ha? Yen to me yen ye bet me
Yes.
And then in him we have a sportsman who is a legend. I would do the highest level and is a young person. And see, we have two in him. And I mean, somebody didn't come out.
No.
Or you're very deep, very, very, very deep young man. Very, very, very deep young man. So only needing come out. The ideas he has, the exposure when you're over the period. Say when he starts engaging you on issues of youth development, youth growth, and sports, you'll be amazed. And see, all the vice president is doing is saying, Asamoah, please, I have a dream for the young people of this country. I have a dream for the sports of this country.
Yes.
I want you to lead the formulation of this dream that I have. Someone is not going to do it alone. On any other members are on the youth and sports committee. But if there is any one person, until I want to generate so much excitement on social media, no. If there's any one person we believe, say, or what's our committee anymore, a year master stroker, the selection of Asamoah, and we are very grateful to him. Say what year to mumpo say or bebwa now was sharing knowledge with his motherland and his country. No, we're very, very, very grateful to him. You see, developing a manifesto.
But the other thing is, yes, he might be a good player in his playing days, or Bobo, Adretre, and all of that. We imagine ideas, you know, in putting together a plan for sports for our country. By making him chair of a committee on youth and sports, I was say a drafted the manifesto youth and sports. Munyini say a jump too high for him.
Onimbo was here when the president. What are we talking about? Upon we
that's upon we are world best.
When the president.
When the president.
And see what are we talking about? And to upon we are a footballer.
That's the president in the year.
No, he's been president of his republic. I'm only saying that footballer there on to mean drafted plan. Footballer on no drafted plan.
Because want to mean drafted plan.
Yeah, so what are we talking about?
We are dealing with a specific case.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And I'm say being part of the committee, yes. Making him chair. Unyini say a jump too high.
But a footballer became president. Why is it a jump too high for a footballer to chair an ordinary committee? Footballer be the president. I don't know a big jump for a footballer to become a chairman of a committee. Samuel Eto'o, I don't know the FA president of Cameroon.
Sure.
And a friend is saying so many examples abound across the world. That is why I'm saying that Ghana, we like to box people. Yenim acquire first all ye pian we share adaka bi mu near the wash near the dia to so. What we don't know how to do is how to spot talent and harness that talent. Let's watch out for Asamoah. You'll be amazed the sort of delivery that young man is coming out.
Because and now no and way they may call the last time I hosted Samia Ukuewo studio Sami said this and more Mutie me interview with Samia Ukuewo, you would remember Yentie.
Also saw in the area of sports how you can get the private sector to also show interest in developing sports. My main 5 video was also on chairman Abema Baby Jet. Asamoah, he was there as well. And then watch out for Asamoah. Watch out for him. I met him at Canon. So, Mami Jen.
Let's say I'm parliamentary primaries.
Watch out for Asamoah. He's a man of ideas.
Baby Jet.
And one Dr. Bawumia loves people with ideas. So watch out for Asamoah. He's his good friend.
Sports minister.
Minister. Watch out for him.
Very soon.
Very soon.
But before you continue,
he's one guy who also has solid ideas.
Asamoah.
Solid ideas. In the area of sports. And he's an iconic figure. Love him or loathe him, he is an iconic figure.
Asamoah.
And I think he's one person. He should show interest in policy, not politics. He may never know.
They all can't coded language.
He should show more interest in it because they say our Befi and he should also be able to contribute these ideas, his network to the development of sports. I think so.
I think so. And we should watch out for him.
Watch out for him.
And that was an interview about 2 weeks ago.
You're comedian or parliament. You're comedians or parliament. You're actress or parliament. You're actors or parliament. I don't have footballer to be in chair committee. And I don't know to be in chair committee. I'm telling you that you don't know Asamoah. You know, we know Asamoah as a footballer. As that guy who is always sweating and is in a shorts and is in a jersey playing football. And see, a shape you're thinking
about him.
And we've also had the thought say football is there. It doesn't work that way. Asamoah, you're widely traveled, very exposed, with over the period. And in him we have practical experience to be shared with the young people of this country and the sports fraternity in this country. In Asamoah, we have that.
In this team, any manifesto subcommittee, we know timelines. When is the manifesto supposed to be ready? One more time.
I mean, by quarter by June there.
June.
They should be finishing their work. We are looking about 90 days and
so that's 3 months from now.
3 months from now they should finish, and then we should at least by June there. We should be prepare the manifesto na Babonti and already know Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia at the highlights na bebeba. Okasa or UPSC.
They will just put flesh on sa highlights.
We say specifically no say. Review 2016 manifesto no. 2020 manifesto no. And the review mandate is simple. Monshe niyama ye kasi ye ba ye beye. Emu dia yetumi aye. Dia ka ye ntumi ye no. Na fi eno ne ye ba behwe, dia ka ntumi ne ye ba behwe. Okay, adenti na ye ntumi aye. What were the challenges? And ye biampo, are they still relevant? Normal still or minor in yes. They are relevant biuno. Yes in change. They are irrelevant, no. It means that it continues. And then that's why, for example, he made an emphatic statement about Free Senior High School. All kind of categorically say Free Senior High School will continue. And that is the most emphatic statement I've heard from any of the flag bearers when it comes to Free Senior High School. That decision. Because I did about Ghana for be I am and say, hey, that Free Senior High School in another equi. What is going to become of it? We go be here. Senior high school, as some can almost say Free Senior High School. Will be millions of lives are changed and are changing because of Free Senior High School. And Krofua no money that's will be our mabrabum. And Krofua no omu nim say omu so omu die so no money da so betumi abemu no. That is what Free Senior High School is giving them. There are people that will be even with Free Senior High School to be in school. It's an a chop box awenya, it's an daddy awenya. Obi oha obi when you Free Senior High School you place no me are no children in my constituency here. When you placement to Wesley girls. Naga Wesley girls you send any more non come to me call. Obi aka send you be free or they akola be free Wesley girls, free latte. Ako Wesley girls, even with Free Senior High School. So you can imagine if there was no Free Senior High School. Every year, almost about 135,000 children in a normal Katinefie as a result of lack of access to finances on the schools. And today it's taken. And all these things are things that Dr. Mahmoud Babia said. Let's look at our manifesto. Let's look at the things we have done. Let's look at the ones we couldn't do, and look at the ones that are still relevant. Is even to me rolling it over now. Now, emerging teams, Niamafo for now, Abana, you bet to me the account.
Na
account.
And for and I've heard people argue, say, hey, where they are shadow cabinet committee chairs, no? Every committee chair a potential minister in that sector, and maybe where Bawumia giving us a sneak peek into how his cabinet will look like.
Every Ghanaian, a friend is saying, possible sector minister. Every Ghanaian, and Brano, very simple. Any friend is saying, campaign team knows where, and now we are. Membership of this committee ni bebre kukudam bebre we mu do mo ye lead keke e kukudam bebre so ewo e friend say sa committees no so there is no connection
William upon Bill Kennedy upon nipa no a Greek no a Greek
a lot of experience and exposure there do I who diverse background no
Tony Otin JC is it the industrialist we all know yeah, Kojopoku. So Kojopoku contested with Bawumia for the flag bearership.
Engineer Kwabrejapo.
Yeah, mehun engineer Kwabrejapo. Housing and infrastructure.
Yeah.
Hassan Tampoli waha. Michael Kwe Jr.
Yeah.
Juliet Asante. Who is she?
The creative arts lady. You know she's already doing it. Nafti.
Oh, a Nafti.
Oh yeah, she's already doing.
A lecturer.
Oh, she's. I think she's head of Nafti.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's head of Nafti. And no, on her own. Juliet Asante. No acting. Movies that I know.
Oh, okay.
They're not only no.
Oh, okay.
No acting movies that I know. You know, she's always moving around the world doing something in the creative art space. She's either in France, she's either in Spain. They're always doing something for, you know, the African continent in the creative art space, or movies, music, and all of that. And she's a fantastic, you know, brain as well. Very important. Manifesto development, no. And yet politicians go and do you were industry captains.
Sure.
You were specialists. You were so many people are from diverse background. And we are always grateful, say, you turn from one. Immediately I don't FM. Yeah, the partisanship. But you see, if you don't get involved, it's our expertise, baby. That's a political party between such a no one getting involved and beboa. He may win elections and become form a government.
Yes.
And then when he begins to implement what he has put in there, which you fail to contribute, I think I'll be criticizing. And see, I am of the view that at the point of manifesto development, you know, and our formulation, that is where when you are an expert, in spite of your political background, as I will contribute and making input. The political parties will have solid, sound manifestos.
Yes.
Say, oh, we need not or implement here. A bit meeting with aspiration. It will be maybe you're not a politician, but if you are invited to come and join the communications and digitalization committee, want to bring us a politician to member, because policies are a bit formulated. In the next government, you know, a bit may affect you because you're a media man, and it will affect you in the communication space. So it's very important that we set that record straight for people to understand.
Okay. Into Kofi Jamesi is known. Mrs. Amasewa Nekwe Tete. Who is she?
Contested one of the seats.
Constituencies, no.
Yes, contested.
I know person call MP, right? I'm Anko Yama,
but very, very, very fantastic. Very fantastic.
And okay, I'm a friend Poma Juma Esquire. Yeah. SIC Life lady, no. Okay. Loans, yeah. Okay. And a Prince Hamid Ama known Kwesimin Team MP, on PhD in education and those stuff into quite a good fit for role Amodia Manano. Let me see. Okay, I think we've exhausted. Dr. Emmanuel Marfo should be the Oforicrom MP, right? Oforicrom MP. Okay, Dr. Emmanuel Marfo. Oh, and my lecturer also in there, Maxwell Opoku-Agyeman.
Yeah, fantastic brain.
Okay, the legal
Fantastic
and governance.
Brain. Yeah, fantastic. We just saw the field down.
Oh, sure.
In the field down. So it's already Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say, the next one of the things he's focusing on under education is to improve and expand the infrastructure for legal education and any medical education.
Medical education.
That's where Professor will come in. Professor Maxwell will come in, because when it comes to legal education, it's one of the things that we've been talking about for a long time, and it's quite emphatic about that.
Justina Asan Marigold should be Central Region Minister. No? Okay, local government.
Yes, central. So it's a practitioner. With DMC, we are going to west for the first term. I say I'm a regional minister. Overseeing all these districts in the region, and see rich experience coming on board from there. She understands the issues. She knows what the difficulties are. She knows where the high ends are and the low ends are, and there are a lot of expertise.
I was say the next on more bail, they naming the running mate, right?
No, so we now say BBC about more.
Dabi,
and that I mean kind of next job.
Na say there was some name running.
Buy back at you. Say the we buy out years. I said not to na buy back. Na munko bisa your opponent is on running mate. And yen kwana. Your opponent
that's someone na the statement.
That's someone serious. No we have candidate 1 year about. Yeah, year candidate 3 months.
That's Obia on strategy.
And then now the old bamboozle yes say candidate. Oh, yes statement room running mate. What they okay? What's that teacher? Mumbi almost there. I did you candidate 1 year and you won't team night. And then almost instead of some better more attacking on daily basis. The Biana, 1 year, a friend said press conference. Moment of truth, lies and one almost be no maquacoda. What target of press conference, moment of truth. And so bad lies and one. Some of the ones that time on Okasa, Oka be about your mama, Oka, incorrect ones on as was it. Oh, Tamana, or yeah, the press conference, Oka say, and Jawaba is incorrect ones and also. The globally acclaimed corrupt, if I say, the only globally acclaimed.
And then you're John Muhammad.
It's not a record.
Mamin
Kai. Oh, somebody I don't know. He's the only president that are on record.
Where's the Obi?
Say, involved in corruption directly.
It is not.
Some do one or can. What is our share? Or Castle can say, oh, and you know, Joma is incorrect nursery.
Where's the Obi? It is not prudent for the National Security Coordinator to be a member of the party's manifesto committee, as it could raise concerns about potential conflict of interest and compromise national security.
To me, home.
Now,
hold on. A legitimate say Minister for Health, a manifesto committee member for political party.
The Minister for Health be a manifesto.
National Security Coordinator, not one.
Yes.
Or yeah, on day-to-day basis, no, or reporting my
the president.
President no onka eduma manifesto nyama ye no.
Okay.
Enti then okay. Think about it. Think about it. The core mandate for you as an executive is to make sure say wash health related matters of all citizens. Same as security matters of all citizens. But manifesto and they say yaba betena say say ya pese ya say on my way mu no going into the future.
Yes.
And she ben ya pese ya de to e my security issues. How is this? In fact, why is it not the best person to actually come up with those ideas? Yes, especially when he's there.
Well, those ideas should not be for one political party.
Oh, how there be?
Because he's national security coordinator.
That's the person responsible for national security is the president.
Yes.
Exactly. So what are you talking about? That president on national executive committee meeting on the party, on national council meeting on the party, and yet on your politician, you are there to serve the nation just like every other person. But the other hobby, just to put it loosely, the other hobby, and they say, oh, political party be our dom. Yes, so everything the National Security Coordinator is implementing, it is based on the policy direction of the government that he is part of. Into what are you talking about? Your friend saying your manifesto in 2016 and 2020, don't we have a security component in there? And then when they implement it, you know.
Anyway, so Obi, it is great to have some legends and experienced individuals from various fields participate in our politics. In fact, we need all hands on deck to assist in pushing this country to its final destination. I think Asamoah has done really well to accept the appointment from Dr. Bawumia to serve this country. I was seriously surprised yesterday to see some members of the NDC denigrate and vilify Asamoah for this bold decision. We need to encourage much more legends to enter the game to help us build this country. Congrats to the appointees and all the best to Dennis as well on his new role. Godi in Tema. Wese Obi, Samuel Oponwia was advised to have further education, which he did before becoming president. Eto is FA president, not youth and sport. We are talking about youth and sport policy. NPP should be serious. Meba.
Na oko efene say parliament.
Yes.
Yenya seamstress akọ parliament da. Yenya seamstress, a hairdresser akọ parliament. Yenya actress, yenya actors akọ parliament da. We need to respect every single citizen
profession
of this country and their contribution to the state. You don't have to be a grammarian. You don't have to be a professor or a PhD before you have home sense.
To draft policy.
I may not have a PhD in sports, but if I follow sports for a very long time, there is nobody better than the practitioner. There is no individual better in any field than the practitioner. I think there are lectures. We are a political science lecturer, and so assemblyman Krobelusu. So I say a political science lecturer, but assemblyman Krobelusu. So we cannot make that if anything a point at all.
Very well.
We need to run a country of inclusivity, a country where every single person is allowed to contribute. Inti ade no nipa 40. Omo nyina ye PhD holders. Se ba ko pe primary school holder na ye.
Very well. Well, so Obi, Mr. Otin Jesse is also the current board chairman of GRA. Honorable Ebenezer Nina Nati. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, so Obi, Asamoah should not be a surprise to you. Just wait till you see the entire lineup. We cannot build a country with only coat and tie people. Everyone's opinion matters, including street boys and the ghetto youth. One of the reasons I love Dr. Bawumia.
Why do you even assume Asamoah? Why do you assume Asamoah? Okwa crack academy.
Oh, nasa me menka bibia.
I'm
on for message on the banner. Virus. Good afternoon to you and thanks for your message. Where's Obi? Please ask him if Asamoah's appointment is football specific because sport goes beyond football.
Oh, it's sports.
Yes.
It's sport. Asamoah no. Why are you restricted? Who is Asamoah and tennis or yeah?
Yeah.
Or start to cry a musician. Babon yum emana hit top chart and
award-winning song.
Award-winning song. Our my way. Our band. We saw our band.
Yes.
Asamoah is versatile. That's why I'm saying. I don't know why in Ghana we want to align wisdom with educational background as a qualification. I think it's wrong. And I heard somebody send a message say, you know, Obiko school. You don't need to go to school to be a good leader. How many of our businessmen in Ghana, you know, what a friend is saying, degrees and master's degrees? I don't know the ones with the best of businesses and companies in this country. And that argument there is flawed. What we're doing now, one person now woman our thought process in here flawed. The facts on the ground, the data supports the fact that you need experience, exposure, and practice to be good at a particular sector and not certificates.
Miracles, yeah, but that's
not necessarily
certificate. Because certificate
not necessarily certificate. Not only certificate. You can have all very the certificates, but if you are not,
no, you have to. We say, Obi, please kindly tell my boss, Miracles, our preparation is quite fantastic. But there is this video trending, and I will be very happy if the campaign team will pay attention to it. The former Deputy General Secretary, Nano Bribwan, is seriously unhappy about his non-involvement in the campaign team, and is threatening to go independent. Really, the party should quickly move to him and resolve the issue before things escalate. We all know how he took upon himself campaigning for our waiting President Dr. Bawumia. We should bring him on board to also hold the Bono block as far as this campaign is concerned. Yakwinta ewo Ashaiman. One video now can ho asem no.
Obi is one of the leading advocate for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. I have no doubt it's a no issue. I'm sure in the next few hours, Nanobi Bawumia would not. I mean, meaning very well. The context is important. I mean, very soon, I'm sure there is nothing like Oko Independent. No. He's an integral part of this campaign. He's an integral part of this project. and he is a huge asset for us going into this election.
Very well.
He has a huge role to play.
Well, so Obi, those who believed in the Makola women helping plan the constitution of this country years back are the same people talking about certificates today. Well, Mami Efia Akoto Nedie Enono. We say Obi, the president of Ukraine is a comedian. In this country, I found that many of the incompetent people I've met and worked with have had numerous credentials. Samuel Brian Boabeng, Ukraine president, a comedian. Charlie.
Or a stand-up comedian.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but he's done quite well for his country. I mean, in that way, how we face Russians.
Exposure, amount of confidence. Now, when you have confidence, now we'll be to ABBR.
Where's the OB? Our campaign communications director is super good. William Sangmore, and on the way about. Okay, it's okay. What's that? Where's the OB? Tell Miracles to stop talking about the future and resolve the recent economic mess created by them. Eric Ejay, NDC Deputy Communications Officer, Bono region. Into your say, Munjai future, and I'm currently.
So we on camera, Ghana, or come on home. NDC regional executive there. Or come on home, will be on camera future. Now will be our advocate for John Mama Sonsambe President, His Excellency. Would you would to Sakas, Odo Ghana, and can be advocate for John Mama, His Excellency over President. Or Mampeni or Baby Boo or my way, so Buya Bofia, a can I drink chain. Me, who Mampeni or can I drink chain a month for? Okay. 2 for my John Mama. So I just say, but now what advocate Mano? Nipea or Baby, would you Mampeni a bit literally? Would you away so? When you say, "Oh, Mampeni, Dada John Dramani Mama," when he was vice president, not complaining to be a. It will be quite almost so many Kokoni do Crombe Bono because Omama John Mama crime on who president. Into why as vice president, and nobody on Mampeni, obey your Mampeni's way also, Obi, we also. It will be cannot know for a corruption in your mind. Almost every single international corruption scandal Mampeni come. He is the only vice president on one president instigating investigation against him. I'm not on Kokoto plane. I'm a military for no pay your mama been see that. He is the only president Otia Konyoso. You to me institute investigation against him say waje bribe from a contractor. E been see that no pay. He is the only president ene yete wa you to me omakogu enuma so UK any US. UK serious fraud office enum guasia is actually John Dramani Mama e dey go my way.
Now say in those reports will be a more John Mohammed.
Oh, now say your friend is a special prosecutor. Or yeah, on one former attorney general can say on any investigation on it, SF for any Kitangudi on SF for any say Jomama. On no can na make me we crowd on KBP Nianka. He said it. And Jomama's brother's name was mentioned. And see what are we talking about? Okay, Manjaro scandal also. Jomama scandals here can say a kind beka incident. But the point is that Nini Eric J. Tanity.
Anyway, Sinti, we thank you for coming through the show. And we'll talk again. Why?
Now what should be everybody? Now what should be some information? More information. Now what should be and I'm news.
Miracles made us.
Now what should be had any more bet share Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia every week. The information
Sempa FM. Ma mention more messages bano yadamunyana ase. We say Obi, but the Ukrainian president has a degree in law. Comedians in the US and other countries are highly